In this list you will have 10 best dexterity games of all time. And which one is the first one?
Oh, it's obvious. It's
Again, we're back to the best of all time series, the ranking series where we check out different genres of games, this time dexterity games. Something that asks maybe for reflexes.
And you have to do it faster, more precise, quicker than the other players.
We will have 10 games ranked here, and if anything's missing, it's your job to leave it down in the comments.
Before we go, there is one game that is going to be missing.
And it's Ice School.
Because you hate it so much, right?
That's a fantastic flicking game where you flick penguins and try to catch each other and get points. Okay. But we had problems with putting this game in the top because he's one of the authors.
Oh, I can't be subjective suddenly? Please, it's number one.
Now moving to the more objective ranking. Here we go. Boom! Let me try one.
Let's try it.
Boom!
Go. Like a real professional!
In Project Elite, you play these Marines that have a mission. You land on a planet, and you have to do the mission, run in, do the mission, and get out and not die.
If somebody dies, you lose. If aliens get on the ship, you lose. If you don't complete the mission within a certain amount of time, you lose. It's real time, we're chucking dice, we're trying to communicate, we're moving monsters, all within 2-minute period. One round lasts 2 real-time minutes.
You just have dice that you chuck all the time, see what the results are, quickly try to move your figures or use those dice, and if you roll bad results, you move the aliens. You can do this as many times as the time lets you.
That's where the dexterity comes in. If you're like super fast and can move everything around, you'll probably be able to do more than other players can. Good news is it's a cooperative game, so if you're really good, that helps everybody. We actually had a really long discussion, at least 3 minutes, about should this be on the list.
It's a real-time game for sure, and we think it's a dexterity game as well. That's why we just left it at 10th place, even though I think
it could have been higher.
9th place is Cluster.
Cluster is sweeping the nation here in Latvia right now. It's one of the most sold board games in stores for a while now in Latvia. I mean, there's not a lot to it. There's just a string on a table, which is the board, and then everybody gets magnets. And your goal is to get rid of your magnets. On your turn, you take one magnet and place it on that board within the string, hoping that no magnets click together. Because if any do,
then you have to pick all of the magnets that just clang together. The winner is who gets rid of magnets, right? So you don't want to pick them up.
One game lasts like 10 minutes, so it's super quick. What's the fuss all about?
The fuss is this. Jungle Speed. Jungle Speed is party game. You have in front of you a pile of cards, and you all one by one turn around one card. And this card has different drawings.
Really weird drawings that might be similar to that one or might not be, but if you think it is exact same drawing as the other player, you have to grab the totem. If you do it first, you get to give your cards away to the other player.
Similarly to Cluster, you try to get rid of your cards.
And the first one to get rid of all of his cards wins. And the dexterity comes obviously from noticing, are those cards really the same? And they're grabbing the totem.
Super easy to teach, which is lovely for a party game. It's really, really nice. Next one is Rhino Hero.
Okay, well, we have one of them. There's a whole series now of Rhino Heroes. The original one was a small game that you get if you mix Uno and Jenga.
On your turn, you have to build walls from cards and then place a floor or a ceiling in that case on top of it. Those floors will have some superpowers. Maybe somebody else will skip a turn or pick up a few cards.
Like Uno.
Exactly, there's the comparison. And the tower will get higher and higher, and you hope that it won't fall on your turn.
Because then you lose for sure, and then everybody else counts cards, right? Who has the least amount of cards wins. It looks like a kid's game, just like this one, which I guess it was intended as, but it somehow became a party game that a lot of adults play.
Number 6.
Okay.
You ready?
Yes, it's High School. We actually tricked you. High School's here, right?
We're not gonna talk about High School, Jans. Sixth place, Menara.
Oh, Menara. Menara is another unique game because it's a co-op stacking game.
Jenga? Kinda, but cooperative?
You're trying to create a building that consists of certain pillars and certain floors. Floors have different shapes and pillars have different colors that you need to place.
You specifically will get few columns in different colors and then get a task. You have to build this thing. If you can't, then you get a penalty and you just hope you in time can all together build this tower and not flip it over. Then also you lose.
Essentially you have limited amount of actions that you're trying to optimize the best.
But really lovely cooperation where every single person counts his moves manner, which is lovely in cooperative games. It's
I don't know this one. Very dexterous of you.
Yeah.
There's a level in the middle of the table. Depending on the level, you have a goal. You have to connect certain things, you have to go through somewhere, you have to put dots on some things. But the catch is that you draw right here without, you know, knowing how precise you are. So essentially it just trains your, what is the name of Atsumars in English?
Eye-hand coordination.
So let's see how well you did. You had to collect all the stars.
I did 2.
Progressively levels get trickier and harder. You score points based on how well you did. And it is a very unique concept, and I'm just sad it hasn't been used more.
Flick him up.
So Flick 'em Up is the first flicking game on this list. Essentially, you have a scenario, and you have figures in that scenario. You take your guy, and you flick from him different kind of discs. There's a shotgun disc, and then there's the gun disc, and you're trying to knock over the other people's guys. And then there are extra rules on that, there are buildings, and a whole lot of things. And it's a really nice flicking game, if you have a good table, that is. Yeah. This table might not be too good for flicking.
Yeah. Dungeon Fighter.
Hello. Dungeon Fighter is, wait a minute, another co-op dexterity game? You are a party of heroes going into a, yeah, it's in the name, dungeon.
You have this huge target in the middle of the table, and you want to hit with your die.
You must throw it so it touches the table before it touches the target.
That's how you damage the enemy. You want to be dexterous in that way.
Ah!
And the hitting is so important because when you miss, you also take damage.
Also, every monster and boss that you find has unique rules how you need to try to throw the die.
You lose the game if all of you lose health. You win if you defeat the bad guy. But before you get to the big bad boss guy, you have to defeat different smaller monsters. Clask!
Clask is like air hockey, spin-off type of game. The goal of the game is to get 6 points. The first one who gets 6 points wins. There's only one way how to score points, but there are many ways how to lose points to an opponent. To score a point, you have to hit your ball into the hole on the opponent's side. You can lose points by accidentally getting 2 magnets stuck to your striker. Or, if your striker falls into your hole, you also lose a point.
Yeah, let's go.
It's really hard to play with I was using my left arm, it's not fair. No, come on!
So 6-2, you can see it's a skill issue here.
I don't think we need to tell anything more about this game. That's Clask. It's great, it's super easy to teach. You can play with kids, you can play with grown-ups, you can make mini tournaments. One game takes 10-15 minutes to play. It's just great all around. We all know what number 1 is. Thank you for watching. What are your favorite dexterity games?
I mean, you said it in the intro.
I did, they heard it, right? You didn't cut me off, right?
It's Crokinole. Alright, so Crokinole is a 2 or 4 player game where you have to score the most points. Take a disc, flick it, and try to hit the center. And then the other player goes and tries to hit the center or your puck if your puck is somewhere there on the table.
We have a review of this where we actually play a full game of this. Go watch it if you want to see it in action. It's great. The biggest downside to this would be
it's quite expensive to get. We have one from Modesty Games. We really love what they create, but you can find something cheaper in Amazon, I think. But it's something that will last you for a lifetime. So it's worth an investment. The most fun, for sure. It's so easy to play, set it up, so addictive. Those were our top 10 best dexterity games of all time. One more time for you to see better.
We definitely missed some. Let us know which ones should have been on this list. High School 1, High School 2, or High School Wizards. If you want to see extra videos that we do every month, because we do extra videos every month that only our supporters can see. Think on becoming one.
Yep. What he said.